Hey y'all, so yesterday I talked about jobs that are awful for people with anxiety, and I appreciate the response I got. I definitely saw some thumbs up, so I appreciate that. That told me that y'all would like to see some awesome jobs for people with anxiety, and I am here to do that for you today. So remember, there's exceptions to every rule, that I can only base this off of my own personal experience. If you have worked a job and you feel like it would be great for someone with anxiety, I inspire you and I ask you, please put it below. This would help out not only me, but other people that are dealing with anxiety, which is thousands and thousands, if not millions and billions of Americans. Like seriously, there are so many people that struggle with this, and the workforce, the workplace can be one of the hardest things to do, the most challenging situations, and that's why people struggle to find jobs, and they struggle to find the right jobs that fit them. Many people that are in jobs are unhappy with their jobs because of anxiety. So I had a couple on my list, actually a little bit more than a couple. I'm going to try to give you several that I would recommend if you are struggling with anxiety, if it affects your life, if you hate going to work because you don't want to see people and you don't want to hear phones and you feel frustrated with your life, you feel suffocated, and all around you just feel burned out from everything. So let's get started. I want to mention before I start this that these jobs, some of them take a lot of work to be able to make money at them. Not everyone is successful and able to do it. So with that being said, keep that in mind. But creative careers where there are entrepreneurs, unfortunately, they are some of the hardest, most competitive jobs to get into, and oftentimes fields are saturated. I'm not trying to give you negativity, but I'm always very real with you guys, very authentic. Like I tell you from my own opinion the struggles of things and what you could be facing, because these are things I wish people had told me 10 years ago. I think I would have redone how I did a lot of my life had I known that these careers would cause anxiety, and had I had someone tell me, what about these careers? Try it, give it a shot. It's worth it. It is worth it, even if you don't make it to the top, even if you don't end up making tons of money with it, because you get to experience the difference between jobs that are not a fit for you and jobs that are. Oftentimes with anxiety, I feel like people try to fit me into a box. And I don't even say that to be funny. I know I laugh sometimes, but I do it because it's so true. With uniforms, with how to act properly. Oftentimes I get caught up in like how to even think and function, and it becomes almost robotic for me, and it's a outer body experience. I know I sound like I'm getting crazy right now, but you have to kind of separate yourself from what you're doing because you're so miserable. You have to check out and think about something else. Think about like an island you wish you could be on, to get yourself out of your scenario, to be able to complete your day. So we're gonna start off, sorry, I had to like lean back for a second. We're gonna start off with some jobs I recommend, and the first one is YouTube. So before everybody started laughing and go, hey, YouTube don't make no money, I could just hear some laughter right now. But here's the thing with YouTube. You can do it anywhere in the world, any time of the day, for however long you want to. You are your boss, and you can bring light to topics that have been in darkness in this world. You can make a difference to people, and you can start to figure out who you are. A lot of us don't even know our identity. I know I have struggled with that. I have struggled with even being able to express myself in certain ways, use expressions correctly, and that's a whole nother video, you guys. But it's taken a lot of work, but it has challenged me. I have gotten better with being in front of a camera, and I have been in charge of this. So obviously this is my channel and I am in charge of it. But guess what? Everybody on YouTube is also in charge of their own channel. Everybody's their own boss. And if you ever have any comments that are left for you that are uncomfortable, or I'm not talking about like comments that are constructive, like that you can learn from, but comments that are like insulting, that really put you down, you can choose to delete those. You don't have to pay attention to that. You can even remove remove the likes and dislikes on your channel if you don't want to know if anybody's disliking your video or not. So a lot of people opt for that. I've definitely seen that. So I do recommend YouTube. You can make money from YouTube. You have to meet a certain standard in that you have to have a certain amount of subscribers and a certain amount of views before your videos can become monetized. Not going to go into all of that on this video because that is so much information, but I want to inspire you to go on Google and just to type it in. How do I make money on YouTube? I promise you, there's tons of information out there, free information. Look it up. Think about creating a channel. Remember, it's free, and that it might really help your anxiety. Even if you do this on the side of your job. Now, if you have a part-time job and you decide to do YouTube part-time, you build that. Build off that channel, and maybe in a year, maybe in 2 years, it will be an income for you. I cannot guarantee, but it's an idea. So that's the first one. Second one is blogging. So I'm sure you've seen blogs online. If you're not familiar with what those are, they are websites where people write about all different kinds of topics. Now, people can write about everything from cooking to exercising to, you know, creating something DIYs, gardening, traveling, you know, just do a photography blog. I've seen all kinds of stuff. If you sell clothing, and something I've actually thought about is starting like a clothing blog where you talk about each and every one of your clothing items, where you found it, what you loved about it, and that gets buyers very interested because they get a little story along with their piece of clothing, and I've heard that that works really well. So there's lots of different blogging ideas. There is research that needs to go into blogging, because if you want to make money with it, you probably do not want to start your blog on a free platform, like a WordPress free platform. WordPress also offers a website that you would pay for your link to your website and pay for the platform you'll be using, kind of thing. I am not great with that. I did have somebody help me with that information, but look onto Google as well. There's tons of WordPress information. Definitely look up WordPress. I have been very happy with them, and you can add ads into your blog. No matter what your blog is about, you can choose similar type ads that go along with your blog, that if people click on them, it doesn't matter even if they stay on them. If they click on them at any point, then you make a little bit of money from that. And if you have a lot of clicks and a lot of views and a lot of subscribers, you guys, that's where the money is. Some people do full-time vlogging, especially with I hate to say cooking is a really big one, but I feel like I've seen so many successful cooking vlogs. So I'm going to definitely put that out there, but I can imagine exercise blogs and all those others I listed can be just as big. So definitely don't rule blogging out. If you love to write and express yourself, it's similar to YouTube in that you're not going to be recorded, obviously, but you're going to type and record sort of what you did in your day or whatever you're writing about. So blogging is number 2 for you guys today. Number 3. I can't even use my I don't know what goes on with my fingers when I get on these things. Anyway, number 3 is pet sitting. So there's a lot of information I could give you about pet sitting, but I feel like the word pet sitting is pretty self-explanatory. If you would like me to do a video with a lot more information about how to start pet sitting, I would be happy to do that for you. I'm saying pet sitting because you are working with animals. You are your own boss. You do things at your own time, meaning you can schedule your pets at the times you have available in your schedule. That may mean you may lose some customers if you're not able to take them at certain times, but that's okay. Your life does not have to revolve around what you do. It is a lot more flexible. If you want to go grab coffee or lunch before you do a pet, you're able to do that. If you would like to take a longer break and go to Barnes & Noble between pets, you're usually able to do that depending on how many pets you have to do that day. There are some really nice perks about pet sitting, and the best part really is just being with the animals, taking care of them. It brings your stress level down. And if you don't mind driving, I mean, there's a lot of driving with pet sitting, there is, but I want to get into information about pet sitting. I don't think I should do that though in this video because I'm going to take away from the other things I wanted to talk about. So pet sitting is definitely number 3 for me. Look into it and I will make another video about it if you guys post below and y'all would like information. So check that out, and it's good for anxiety because you don't have to hear a lot of noise and you don't have to deal with lots of people. You're dealing with one family who is on vacation, or they are out of town, they're not even at their house, and you're taking care of their babies. Take care of them well, make sure they're safe, bring them back at home happy, and that's the end of that position. So it works really well and you get paid. So that's always a plus, right? So along with pet sitting, let me bring my leg back over here. Along with pet sitting, let's see what I want to talk about next. I'm going to mention being a page at a library. So a lot of people know librarians have to have master's degrees, and that's true. That's absolutely true. I think that probably a lot of librarians may have PhDs as well. Don't worry about that. I'm not recommending something to you that you need to go out and get a PhD for, okay? I can't even imagine the anxiety that would come with getting a PhD. I'm just thinking about that myself. Anyway, being a page is somebody who puts back the books at a library. They go out, they collect the books from where people put in the books. I don't know what that's called. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And they wheel all the books back in, and they organize them on the shelves. So if you like organizing, if you like a very quiet environment, this may be something really good for you. How to find a page job. You are not going to find it on Craigslist. You're not going to find it on Indeed. You're probably not going to find it in the newspaper. I have found personally that most page jobs are listed on the actual library website. So find out where your local library is and look on their website. It may be at the very bottom, employment opportunities, or you may have to click something and scroll down. If you cannot find it on the website, give that actual library a call and ask them how to figure out positions that are available at their library. They will walk you through it or tell you the information you need. So maybe you need to come in to fill out something, but usually it's all online. Being a page does not take any other education than having a GED or a high school diploma. I know that because I had a good friend that worked in the library as a page when we were out of high school. And I still think to this day that may be one of her absolute favorite jobs. I remember how much she loved it. The only downside is it is probably going to be minimum wage. It is not a well-paid position, but you have to weigh that with how you emotionally feel and what you're going through. And as much as I hate to say this, sometimes losing out on a good deal of money just so you can feel okay, so you can get out of bed and you can go to that job and you can keep that job for a long period of time, sometimes that is worth it. So you have to think about everything and your bills, and I know how stressful all that is. I myself, student loans, you know, I understand. But I just think the library is a really good option. I think that page jobs are sought after. I have applied to a couple of them. I have never gotten a call back. But like I said, my friend did. It can happen for you. Just don't give up. Look around at a lot of libraries in your area and apply. Give it a shot because it's a really quiet atmosphere. You do have to know the Dewey Decimal System. Go ahead and look that up. Go to the library, look at the books, look at the numbers at the bottom of the books, how you would organize it. Find out where the sections, nonfiction and fiction and children's section is. Take a little tour of it. Visit the library. Bring your anxiety down. Figure out how to do it before you even apply. And that way, when you get the job, you're going to be like, I know the Dewey Decimal System. It'll be a question they ask you. I know it. I know how to put these books back on the shelf. And that's a huge, huge plus than walking up in there and saying, I have no idea how to do this. So that's that one. Alright, so the next one is going to be for the creative people out there. So I am going to recommend Etsy as a potential career or outlet for you to sell your items. Selling items is definitely a great idea for people that like to be entrepreneurs, that need to be alone most of the time. They are not social. They don't want to hear tons and tons of phone calls. I know you're like, well, selling, you're going to get phone calls. Not if you do it certain ways. Okay, so we're going to talk about Etsy first. Etsy could be a whole video as far as, you know, how you should price, what they will like take from you, and how you ship and all that. There are so many links about Etsy, so much information. Look up Google, you know, how to do Etsy. There are books written about it. And I believe I used to have one. I think it was like how to sell on Etsy. So look for books on Etsy at your local library or Barnes & Noble, and I bet they will have something. But I want to list Etsy because anything creative that you make, you can sell on Etsy. I'm not sure about vintage items, but I feel like you can sell those too on Etsy now. I could be wrong. I know on eBay you can. We'll get to eBay. But Etsy is free to start an account, and you can list things that you make, whether that be, you know, bracelets, necklaces, or whether that be you sew baby blankets, maybe you make baby clothes, maybe you love DIYs, you love making them, maybe you make things out of like book pages. I've seen all kinds of Mod Podge creations on there. If you just go onto Etsy and you look around, you're gonna be blown away by how many sellers are on there, and it can be intimidating. It can. I personally did it. I sold photography on Etsy for about a year. I did sell some things, you know. It was fun to be in like a creative community where other people sell things. If I remember correctly, I think they do have a forum you can go on where you can ask questions and talk about your items, talk about other people's items. I'm sure Etsy has changed a lot since I last used it, but it's a great platform to start on and to potentially make money on. Now, some people are successful at this and some people don't sell anything. That's the hard truth about it. Now, I will say that Etsy is very, very, very saturated. I say that because there are so many sellers on there. There's so many. I'm telling you, if you can figure out a way to set yourself apart, to make yourself really unique, to be inspired by something like on Pinterest or whatnot, but you can figure out how to twist that and make it your own, you'll have something. You'll have something that nobody else has. I would recommend trying that. If you sell photography like I did, my photography was good, you know, and I listed a lot of things, but at the same time, lots of other people were listing animal photography. I specialized in animal photography, so did other people. I was good, so were they. So it can be really, you know, challenging. It's a learning experience though, and it's a good option. It's an option. So I know a lot of us with anxiety, we need hope, because we're looking at Craigslist and we're like, I don't see anything I would want to do. We're looking at Indeed and we also don't see anything we would want to do. So I did want to list Etsy as a possibility with you knowing both sides of it. I want to list eBay as well. eBay is not something I have personally experienced yet. I have signed up for it, but I've never like sold on eBay. I'm not able to give you a review of how it works. I know eBay is probably very saturated, but with that being said, people are selling unique items. And if buyers go on there and they are looking for specific items, like say clothing, and they type in a title of the clothing they're looking for, then it's a good chance your item is going to come up if it matches what they are searching for. So there are so many books on eBay, there are so many tips on eBay, definitely check into those. But eBay is something you can do from your house. You can do it from your living room. If you make a sale, you can package it up anywhere you want to and, you know, ship it out to the person. You will make money if you don't give up, if you list a ton and you just stay consistent with it. I guess I can't guarantee that, you know, I want to say, you know, you will and get you super inspired, but I also don't want to tell you something that may or may not happen. So I will say there's a good possibility you will make money with eBay. So look into that if you like to sell. And some people don't realize they like to sell because it's something that you usually have to go up to people and do, like go up to a crowd. You have to be good at public speaking. This is all behind the curtain. This is behind the computer. You're not talking to these people. You are not emailing these people. You are basically an online storefront that these people can go into, your customers, and purchase from you. And everything is done very technical, clean cut. So look into eBay. I think I'm interested in eBay. Personally, I am. So I'm going to be looking into it, so you look into it too. Alright, let's see. The next one is Poshmark and Mercari. I do want to mention both of those. I can definitely speak for Poshmark. I have sold a pretty good bit on Poshmark. It is a free app. You list your clothing. It is free to list your clothing. It is free to list 5,000 pieces of clothing if you want to. So I love that there's no listing price on there. I love that you're your own boss. You don't have to deal with a boss. You don't have to deal with noise. You don't have to deal with customers and complaints. I mean, somebody could technically return something on there, but you know, overall, I think people have had a very good experience with Poshmark. That I'm seeing are people are like enjoying it. They enjoy putting clothing into their closet. You just have to share a lot. You have to dedicate some time to it, but you have to dedicate time to everything you do. So just like pet sitting, Poshmark is a whole another video, and I've done several Poshmark videos. I probably need to do another one coming up, but I wanted to recommend Poshmark because it's worked, and the money goes straight from Poshmark to your account when you transfer it. It's very easy, and I have been able to buy certain things when we've gone on vacation, like all the food. I have been able to go thrift shopping with all the money. I have been able to put more money into my closet and purchase more items for my closet. We just moved and I went to Home Depot the other day and I paid for everything we purchased with the Poshmark money. So you guys, you can make money with it. It's a good side job. I would not recommend it full time until you really save up and make it so that you have a nice cushion and you feel like you have enough customers coming in to try to make that leap. But it's a good option for people with anxiety. Mercari, I recently tried Mercari a little bit. I didn't give it much of a chance. I went on there for like about a week. I posted a couple things and the layout just wasn't for me. It was different than Poshmark. And I'm not doing a review right now between Poshmark and Mercari, but I would say both apps are free. A lot of people cross-post. A lot of people list on Mercari and on Poshmark. A lot of people list on Poshmark and eBay. Some people list on eBay and Mercari. Some people list on all three of them. So it's all in what you feel like you can do. Don't overwhelm yourself. When you get overwhelmed, you get anxious and you get really stressed out. So don't do that, but definitely try both apps and just decide which one is working better for you. So those are the three I would list from selling. You can also look into things like Scentsy. Scentsy is a wax warmer. What am I trying to say? Scentsy is all different scents that you can sell that go into your wax warmers. They sell wax warmers and but I'm losing my train of thought from saying all these different things. But it is profitable. I did make money working for Scentsy. The product of Scentsy, they make your house smell amazing. They have little car refreshers that make your car smell. I remember going up to a drive-thru and opening up my window to pay, and the woman was like, "Your car smells so good." Have y'all ever got that compliment before? I was shocked. I was sure she wasn't talking to me. So I know that those things work, and they work for a while, and the wax warmers come in all different shapes and sizes. They're beautiful. They have Christmas ones. They have decorative ones. I highly promote their products. I promote the wax that they sell that goes into these wax warmers. They are some of the best-selling scents and the best selection of scents that I have ever seen. I mean, you go into Walmart and you're like, oh, this is big, this is like 30 cents. You look into Scentsy and they probably have like over 100 scents you can choose from. So you can sell for them. The reason they're not at my top on the sales recommendation is because Scentsy is it's really tough to just do it online. It's something you probably want to have a lot of acquaintances, friends, family members that would be willing to buy from you. And I did really well with it when I worked for a veterinary hospital, and I had everybody around me buying from me, and I love that. But ultimately, when I did not work for the veterinary hospital anymore, sales became much more difficult, and I ended up not wanting to do it. There is pressure with Scentsy a little bit. You have to meet a minimum. So when you are selling, just know that you can't just sell whatever you want to sell, that you have to meet something, and if you don't meet it a couple of different times, then you will no longer be able to sell their product. So I didn't really like that, to be honest with you, because that gave me anxiety. I'm like, well, what do I do if I can't meet it? Well, what you do if you work for Scentsy and you really like it and you want to stay with the company is you buy stuff to meet that minimum. It ended up financially actually costing me a pretty good bit to stay with Scentsy, but because I love their product so much and because it did work for me for a little while, I did want to recommend them as a good company. It was interesting. So if you want to look into Scentsy, definitely look them up online, go to their website, see what they're about, see how to sell their product, and get information on that. So yes, I would recommend Scentsy. The last thing, oh, not the last thing, I'm trying to think. Okay, so one of the other ones I wanted to recommend is flipping furniture. Now, a lot of you don't know how to do that. I personally don't know how to do that well. I have a friend I know that flips furniture. She makes it beautiful. It is amazing. She could sell it for so much money in the right area. And it's a talent, but you can learn it. It's a learned talent. So if you have like those home network channels and those building channels on TV, I'm not sure of like specific channels, but I know they show stuff like that all the time about how to flip stuff, how to make stuff. I know that Pinterest has information about like how to age furniture, how to paint furniture. Look into that as well. And also just practicing, going to Goodwill, going to the thrift store and picking up a piece of furniture that probably is pretty unattractive. You want to get it pretty unattractive because you want to be able to flip it. Now, don't pick up anything like particle board, okay? Because that's not going to work out for you if you paint that, probably. But look into wood pieces. It don't matter if the wood's kind of like gross looking, has some markers all over it or something. Take a picture of it and flip it. Make it look like sellable. Go to Home Depot, find some cute knobs to put on it, and put it on Craigslist. Just try it. I can't say for sure it will work. You may have to do this several times to be able to sell furniture. It depends on the space you have in your house, if you have a garage, if you have a storage area, if you can rent somewhere to store this furniture until it sells. But it's a really good side hustle, really good side business. You could definitely make some money on it depending on where you live. And I say that not to be judgmental, but you want to be near or be able to access or people to access you from really high-end neighborhoods. Those are probably the people that are going to be buying from you. I'm not saying that middle class, lower class neighborhoods would not buy from you. I'm saying that if you want to really focus on an area that lots of customers may come from, if you're pricing, one of your side bed stands for $400, you have to know your market. That's what I'm saying. And you can paint bedposts, you could paint chest of drawers, there's all kinds of things you can paint. So look into that one. If you love painting, if you love being quiet and creative, I think that's a really good outlet to do that one. And it can sell for a lot of money, but you have to research it and you have to look on Pinterest. The other one I was thinking of is selling antiques. If you are interested in antiques, if you even are interested but you do not know how much antiques are worth, definitely look it up. Look up how much they are worth. Like this thing right here, this little picture, I saw this, I'm not sure if you can even see the rose on it, but it's really pretty. I saw this at a thrift store and I thought it was really nice. I picked it up for like $5. I believe this actually goes for around $40, maybe a little bit more. It's not super expensive, but that's how you learn. I didn't pick it up because it looked expensive. I like the style of it. If you were a seller though, try to look on the bottom of things, find the name, find the date, look them up online when you go thrift shopping. See if they're worth anything. Check eBay. eBay, a lot of vintage pieces are sold on. Vintage toys can go for a lot of money. Vintage items, vintage glassware, plates, old toys, old Disney items. There are so many different things. I remember having like this vintage book and just flipping through it and looking at the prices of all these things, like old Star Wars toys. There's all kinds of crazy vintage items that will sell for a high amount that you could easily pass up at a thrift store. I love to go thrift shopping. It is very therapeutic for me. It's very relaxing and I love it. So try it out. Alright guys, I'm going to close here. I have listed as many as I can think of for this moment. I'm sure there are others. If there are, remember to post them below. I'd love to hear from you. You would help out so many people. Thank you for understanding my mission to help people, supporting my channel, and loving me through this. And I hope to talk to you soon. Remember to leave me a thumbs up on the way out if this helped you out. Alright, bye guys.